All right. Hey there, everybody, and thanks for joining me here on this Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a great day so far. My name is Sam Beiler. I am the co-founder and CEO of Boostpoint, and excited to talk today about the topic of AI in recruitment marketing and how to add a superpower to your recruitment marketing efforts by adding a layer of AI to it versus adding headcount. And so we're going to be talking about specifically the marketing side of things, how to create deliverables that actually look and feel like your brand to help attract more candidates and more applicants to your job postings. This is going to be a bit more of like a workshop as well. So I'm going to dive into like the specifics of how to use these tools and some frameworks that we've seen successful. And hopefully this is of a lot of value to you, but we're going to dive deep into the specifics. So my goal with this webinar is that you leave with some very practical, like, oh, I can incorporate this tomorrow and it's going to increase like the value that I'm producing quite significantly. So hopefully that'll be accomplished here as we dive in. To set the stage here, I'm going to talk through a few data points that I found super interesting when it comes to like, why does this even matter in talent acquisition? Like, why does marketing, advertising matter in talent acquisition? And there's specifically, around, and so like, what even is marketing? Why I'm kind of pausing here a little bit is like, well, what is marketing and talent acquisition? Like all this stuff, because it's like, okay, there's like your employer brand, there's social media, there's your Indeed like job listings and job descriptions, like there's the look and feel of your employer brand, and like all these things I would put under the category of recruitment marketing. And we're going to talk specifically like about the visual side of things. And the big gap that I've seen, being in this space for a while now, is there's this big gap right now in talent acquisition, recruitment marketing of like, hey, there's a big need. Like we all have this desire and we all agree that we want to be, have the best employer brand and represent our organization well to attract the best talent. But the reality is that resources available, especially marketing resources that are available to talent teams, is often like very like bare minimum. Like, okay, like I need an image. Like I don't have like a graphic designer or a content writer that I can just call on 24/7, that can get me, a post for Facebook or a post for LinkedIn. And so the result is like there's just not a whole lot of great content coming from TA teams because of limited resources. Right now, I feel that is completely changing, and that no longer needs to be a barrier for TA teams to build an amazing employer brand. And so talking specifically, like, why does this matter? Like, I was doing a lot of research around even just Indeed specifically. So we all post our jobs on Indeed, and the difference between like apply rates just just by adding an image to your job description, to your job posting on Indeed, can increase your apply rate by 15 to 20%. So there's things like that. Like, it's like, oh, okay. Like if I would add an image along with my job description and the content and things like that could increase my apply rate, by 15 to 20%. That's a huge number. Like that means you could get that much more money out of your, Indeed advertising, that many more applicants from your just free organic posts. But the reality is when I scrolled through LinkedIn this morning in preparing for this webinar in jobs in Lancaster, PA, where I'm from, I couldn't find one Indeed post that had an image on it. Like it's all just the same. Like every single job description just looks the same. It's like you can tell it's the Indeed template and like and again, like I get it. The reality is like the main reason we don't leverage some of these things is because we just don't have access to be able to create the deliverables. That is completely changing because of AI, and we're gonna dive into that right now. So, how do we do this? Okay, so start with the basics. Like I'm gonna be using ChatGPT, just the chat, like the free version that you can do this with the free version that everyone has access to with ChatGPT right now. And so what we're going to be doing here, and I'm going to go step by step, and I can share these prompts later. I might do a chat and like just raise your hand, and I can share these specific prompts that can help you build this outcome. But I'm going to explain here before I dive in deep. Basically, what we're going to do is in a ChatGPT chat like instance, we're going to be building like our employer brand guidelines so that like it's not just vanilla content like images that don't look like us. So we're going to first define our brand. That's extremely important. You don't just want to go to ChatGPT and say, hey, build me an image for my sales rep job posting in Lancaster. You're going to get something super vanilla that looks like stock photography. Like that's not what we want. What we want is something that like the marketing team would be proud of, that aligns with the brand, that we're representing. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is build a chat, defining the employer brand. And then from there, we can start creating the deliverables that we can use, like in a LinkedIn post, a Facebook post, or our Indeed job listings to increase apply rates. So let me organize my screens here a little bit, and we will jump right in. I'm going to share my screen. So this is going to be just kind of the workshop part of this. And again, I will be giving you access to, like, I got a Google Doc here that I can send links out to if people want access to this. So this is ChatGPT. Most people have logged into ChatGPT, used it at some point. The big thing here is ChatGPT just released like this button right here. It's part of their, I think it was their 3.0 or 4.0 release. This was just about 3-4 weeks ago, where they released a new image generation model. Where like you could create images in ChatGPT before, but they just weren't usable. Like if we're completely honest, where again, just recently they added this button here where you can create images, and these images are actually really, really good. And I'll show you examples of what these can look like. Before we go into actually creating specific images though, let's go ahead and build our employer brand. So this is going to be the first prompt. I'm just going to copy and paste this here. And what this prompt is doing is like, hey, just gather information about this brand. So we're going to do on behalf of FedEx. So let's go ahead and grab the FedEx homepage. And we're going to bring that over. Here we go. And this is going to be just things that it references. So I'm going to add that. We're going to bring the FedEx About Us page. About page. And we're going to want ChatGPT to reference this. And last but not least, the FedEx careers page. And we're going to bring that over. And so these are going to be the 3 reference points that Chat is going to go ahead and pull from for FedEx. And we'll let that run. So basically what we're doing here is saying, hey, and it'll remember stuff in this chat. So what we're saying is like, hey, just study this. Don't build anything yet, but just go through this and gather information about this. So, okay, it's defining the company, when it was founded, the mission, the vision, the core values, the culture. Again, this is all stuff that will be included, as we're building our employer value proposition. Now it's like looking at the careers. So next thing I'm going to go ahead and grab this next prompt here and sell me the vision of FedEx. So this is the second prompt. And here we're just getting it to kind of describe in a sales type of way the FedEx brand as a whole. So, all right, now we got that in the bank. Prompt 3. Now we're going to get it to start to build like, all right, what is the feel and like the vibe, quote unquote, for FedEx as a brand? All right, and now explaining kind of what the brand feels like. All right, that's awesome. Now we're getting a little bit deeper into the look and feel of the brand. And this will all be important. I know I'm just kind of going through step by step here, but this will all be important at the end because this is how, like, the biggest thing that I've heard from, the ChatGPT naysayers is like, oh, well, everything is just vanilla, or everything just kind of looks the same, or I don't find it that usable because it's not very accurate. Every single time I've seen, it's like your output from ChatGPT is based on the input, of your prompts and things like that. And so yes, you'll get very vanilla material if you're just using vanilla prompts. But here we're going quite a few layers deeper. Again, I haven't even created an image yet. We're trying to get to an image that represents FedEx and a job opening that FedEx has, that we could use in an Indeed ad or a LinkedIn post or a Facebook post. But in order to do that, we're first defining the steps of everything. All right, so here, like the color palette, the purpose, typography styles. This is all stuff that, like, I know in talent acquisition, who cares? It doesn't matter. But this is all stuff that matters in design and marketing. If you really want to create visually stimulating imagery that also connects with your brand, and that marketing will be proud of. All right, next one here. This is where we're actually going to get to see something here. So this is now creating a mood board for based off of all these things. It's like, okay, what's kind of like a general example of what this, brand now looks like. And so this will be a visual representation kind of everything we've prompted so far. Again, this will take a minute or so. I'm going to grab my next prompt here. Prepare this. All right. And so as this is generating, I am going to open it up for Q&A. So keep that in mind. If there are questions that are popping up in your mind, it's like, well, how would I do this? Or could I do X or Y or Z? Feel free to prepare those questions. I believe chat is open. Let me just double check to see if I have Q&A open. I know I have the chat open there. I'm going to open up Q&A. Q&A should be available at the bottom of this webinar. It's either going to be chat or Q&A. Feel free to add questions there as we're going through the webinar if anything pops up. I'll get to those towards the end of this. Okay, great. So here's a mood board right here of what of FedEx, of what we asked it to describe. So this is like a good look and feel, and pretty good. Like that is a pretty accurate representation of the FedEx brand. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to add this last one here before we really get into it of creating different images. So this is kind of summarizing now all of this. It's gathering at all the conversation that we can then, reuse for our image prompts. And all right, I'm going to copy and paste an image. So here's a specific image prompt that I have then that we'll use. Like this would be for a Facebook ad. So I'm going to prepare this prompt as it's building that document right there. So let's retry this, network error. Go. Hopefully this is going. There we go. Yep, we are live again. It's analyzing. All right, so we're gonna go while that's doing this. We're gonna get a couple examples like for a specific image that we wanted to create. So we're going to go look at a specific position here that we're going to want it to create an ad for. So we'll check out, see if there's any jobs. Here we go. So we're going to grab a link to this job right here. And this will be the job that we actually wanted to create an ad for. And I'm going to start preparing this prompt here. Entering some of the stuff. All right. I am going to put a pause. Let me just make sure I don't lose this. ChatGPT, sometimes it can just take a little bit of time. We're so impatient nowadays too. Like whenever I don't get anything instantly from ChatGPT, I get frustrated. All right, there it is. So here's like our doc. Um, and I can download that. This will be something like you could download this document right here and this image right here. And if you want to create a new chat reference, then you could just upload those two documents and then give it the prompt of the image that you want, and it'll do that. Or you could just come back to this specific chat where it has all these things in reference. Or you could do that as well. But this is something you could store where it's like, okay, here's the document that encapsulates all the data in this chat. And then here's the visual mood board, that you could store. For this right now, we're just gonna, because it knows that we're in this chat, and so it'll reference all these things, we're gonna go ahead and give it this direction. So what this is doing, this is like, I want to advertise this job on Facebook. And so we needed an image to go with this. So we use this a ton internally. So Boostpoint, we are a software that helps you advertise your jobs on Facebook and Instagram, the paid side, not the organic side. So it's like, hey, I want to spend, money to advertise my jobs on Facebook. That is what we do at Boostpoint. So this is a huge part of our product here. I'm just basically taking a part of that out and just doing it in ChatGPT for our example here, because there's a lot of other use cases for this. But we've seen a ton of success with using this practically for Facebook ads. And this performs so much better than like a stock photo. Like, again, what are our other options here? Like prior to, tools like this, it's like, all right, we either need to hire a design team to build this, and spend the resources there, or we just use stock photos, which no one stops and like actually pays attention to. And so this is all right. So here we are. Let's pull up this image right here. Boom, just like that. This image right here, like again, I have over about 12 years of experience in marketing. Like marketing is, where I've built my career. And to be able to generate an image like this in a couple minutes, without having access to a graphic designer is completely like, this is mind blowing from a marketing perspective. This, a month ago, before this feature release with ChatGPT, the only way to generate an image like this would be to go through a whole marketing team to be able to generate that, especially, with it branded and all this stuff. This is just, again, completely mind blowing that you can generate something that is this on brand and that looks this good without any design experience. Like I'm not a designer at all, but this is something that, most designers would be proud of producing. Let's run through a couple other examples. Like say, we want an image, give me a of this job that I can use in an Indeed job posting. All right, so now we're going to get it to create a different style of image. Because again, this would work great for a Facebook ad. I mean, you could even upload this to Indeed, like just as again, this is what I was talking about referencing earlier, is like scrolling through LinkedIn jobs, Indeed jobs this morning. There were no images attached to any job descriptions, and like Indeed says, like you'll get better apply rates if you're attaching videos or images. But no one's doing it because it's hard. It has been historically hard to produce images that are relevant to hiring ads. Now you can do that. Now you can upload images, to your Indeed, ZipRecruiter, jobs to increase your apply rate and attract people to your jobs. We don't have that excuse anymore. So here's a interesting post. I'd probably, ask it to do something more vertical. Give more details in this image of the job and make it a vertical image. Um, Actually, I'm going to give it one more image, make it more branded. We're going to pause that one and regenerate it. And so again, think like you can go wild here, if you'd like. This is, I'm going to go into video here in a second. I'm going to let this generate before I switch gears that much though. Because AI video is another step that is it's not quite as easy as this right here, but I feel it's just around the corner, and we're soon going to have access just like this, where we'll be able to create videos almost just as easily. All right, we're going to let this generate. I knew there'd be a little bit of pauses within this webinar as we waited on ChatGPT, but it's a little more than I anticipated. So I apologize for the awkward pauses throughout this webinar. All right, so this at first glance is like, all right, like I think it's getting it. I asked it to add more like details or the more branded. So here we go. But again, think about it like I'm giving very specific examples, but like the title of this webinar was like a whole like recruitment marketing army. Like this is now you have access. Like again, we trained it on our brand. Now, anything you can dream up from like an image design perspective, you can create. So if there's anything that pops up, hey, you want to create an image for a hiring event, that you have next week that you need to do a Facebook post about. You can now do that. You can create an image that's specific, with text on the image with information about that. Like I could like, here we go. Like I like this. Like there's a cool TLDR type of infographic on this. Like this, I could see would be something great to post, or add to the Indeed post, for the job highlight of this. Let's now, I'm going to do one more experiment that just popped in my mind. I'm going to create an image for a hiring event for this position that is happening in Lancaster, PA on June the 7th. Boom. All right. So this I'm super curious about. I'm going to create a follow-up prompt while this is generating because, okay, this is going to be, something that we post on, Facebook or LinkedIn. Now we're going to need, copy as well for this, right? So now write add copy for a Facebook post promoting this event. So I'm gonna let it finish this one first. So there's a whole other angle as well as like now you have a content writer. Like all of this, as we got it just describe the brand, it also covered the content part of it. It wasn't just the visual part of it. So we have like the mission, the vision, the company overview, core values and culture. This is all stuff that would influence ad copy as well, like words, written words that will get us really good text as well if we need that. As well as, all right. Oh man, this is going to be great. This is great. Hiring event, like this is something I could download right here, press this button, download, upload to Facebook. Now we're going to get to provide text for this post. This is a great post. This is something I would download, and upload to Facebook, if I'd be someone in talent acquisition for FedEx. And here we go. Like now this is the post that I could copy and paste as the text part of it as well. So great examples there of like, okay, ad copy, design. Again, what you notice now, I use a very simple, like now I can use very simple prompts, that, and I can get like things that are branded instantly because I first put in this work of building the brand within the chat. So that's the big thing that a lot of people miss when they're using ChatGPT is first you need to train it on your brand and then tell it to create the images. The nice thing here is now this is stored and we can always come back to this chat and just say, hey, I need a Facebook post for X. Hey, I need a LinkedIn post for X. Hey, I'm hiring, so-and-so position, generate this for me. All right, I promised we'd talk about video. So I want to touch on this a second. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because this is like more of like a thing that's coming next and like not a right here, right now thing. But we have been experimenting quite a bit with leveraging AI for video as well. I'm going to bring in an example.
A team that powers resilience every day.
Here we go. So this is an example of a video. Let me pull this front and center. Give me a second. Here we go. And gonna share my screen here. Boom. Share. All right. So I'm gonna play this here.
Hopefully, a team that powers resilience every day. As a gas pipe fitter, you get paid time off, health benefits, and a company vehicle. This is your chance to grow, lead, and make a real difference. Apply now or learn more today.
So that's a complete AI video. It's fairly big on your screen. Like on a mobile device, you can hardly tell it's AI. It's so how would you create something like this? Something like this is a tool if you want to do, like, again, this is technology that's very recent, like this update here, which is a lot more realistic than like AI videos 6 months ago. This was a release that just happened a week ago. So the tool for this is HeyGen, if you want to look that up, so that you won't use ChatGPT. This will be HeyGen, just HeyGen, where you can create videos like this from AI. A good starting point here, a couple tips for this is like you need two things for this. One is you need like a video avatar. So a way to do that is actually you could create that here in this message. So give me an image of a person that in this position that I can use for a video avatar. There we go. Avatar for HeyGen. Make it vertical. Boom. So this will create, so HeyGen basically is a platform. I think they have a free version that you can test with, but it's pretty inexpensive. Like, that's the other thing here. It's like to create a marketing team, you're looking at thousands of dollars a month to employ a marketing team or work with like a marketing agency to be able to create stuff like this in the past. Now, ChatGPT, there's a free version. Like Pro is like $30 a month if you like run out of image credits. And then like HeyGen, I mean, like the paid version of that is less than $100 a month, I believe. And I think they might have a free version if you want to experiment with it. But right here, I'm gonna do another prompt, get ready. So give me a 10-second video script that is UGC, that's user-generated content style, for a like TikTok style ad. So this image right here, I'll let that one run. So this image is something that I download here, and that I would upload to HeyGen, and it would create an avatar like I just showed in that video. And then I could copy and paste this text, and it would say the avatar, this is what, the avatar would then, say in the video. And so again, something like this is like, hey, if you would have wanted to create a video to promote a job ad 3 months ago, you would have had to hire a video team, and video editors. You'd have to storyboard it. Like right now, you've got all of this, access to all of this just at your fingertips. So all right, we're about up at 30 minutes. I usually run my webinars around 45 minutes. So this was a lot of, again, I know this was like just a lot of workshopping. Hopefully this was valuable. I'm gonna open it up for Q&A right now. We're gonna do that, and I'll get to any questions over the next couple minutes here. If you'd like, so again, a big part of this was the prompts for generating the employer brand. If you'd like me to send that to you, maybe just like raise your hand in the chat or just do a quick thing in the chat. And that is stored in Zoom info where I host the webinar. And then my team that's connected to your email address, they'll email you that Google Doc with all of these prompts. So if you'd like access to that, just raise your hands. I see a lot of hands being raised there. Awesome. And then I will get all of that prompt, specifically that Google Doc with these prompts. I'll email that to all you guys. I have a question here. So, all right, oh yeah, Lisa asked, can you share the prompts you use? Absolutely. I'm gonna share those. Any other questions, folks? Not a whole lot there in Q&A. Again, I hope everyone found this useful. Again, I really believe, like right now, just to reiterate, like I'm super passionate about this, and this is something that has never been available before. And we're literally talking like this is stuff, it's easy to get caught up in the hype of AI. I was at HR Tech last fall, and I'm a part of a lot of groups, and like AI is like a part of everything. Like every ATS is implementing AI. Like an AI is like, I feel like we're just oversaturated with that concept, and it's easy to overlook some of the like, okay, where does this really provide value in my TA team right now? Like where's the practical part, and where can I get access to this where I don't have to spend $10,000 a month or $1,000 a month? Some of the things that ChatGPT and some of these other large AI tools are building, like we just, if you know how to leverage them, with the right prompts and the right engineering, it can be a huge value to TA teams right here, right now, and you don't have to spend thousands of dollars a month. So that's like my big, like I'm super passionate about that, right now is like, don't get dull to the noise of AI, because there is real value to gain right here. And I, really focus on the recruitment marketing side, and I'm seeing stuff every day, new use cases. And it just takes a little bit of innovation to really put these things to good use. And that's, what I'm trying to promote in the TA space right now. All right, folks, thanks so much for joining me. Appreciate you spending some time with me here today. I will get this prompt doc out to everyone who requested it. Other than that, I think that's a wrap. Hope everyone has a great rest of your week. And yeah, thanks again for joining me here. We'll see you.